Welcome to Midnight Mysteries. If you feel like listening to a horror story, you're in the right place. In a forgotten time, beyond the mists of centuries, there were men and places shrouded in shadows and nameless mysteries. Today, dear viewers, I will take you back in time, to a world where the line between the real and the imaginary is as thin as a spider's web. This is not a story for the faint-hearted. Make yourselves comfortable, turn off the lights, and prepare to uncover the mystery of the Black Forest, a story inspired by the places and times of the Brothers Grimm. But beware, not everything is as it seems. Are you ready? Then let's begin our journey. It was a dark and moonless night, the wind howling through the bare trees of the Black Forest. I trudged along the muddy path, wrapped in my heavy cloak, with only the faint light of my lantern to illuminate the darkness. That place exuded an aura of unease and mystery, as if it harbored something sinister within. A shiver ran down my spine, and I quickened my pace, eager to escape that gloomy forest as soon as possible. Suddenly, a noise from the bushes startled me. I stopped in my tracks and strained my ears, trying to identify the source of the sound. Silence. Only flat silence. Perhaps it had just been a wild animal. I decided to continue, even though instinct and a natural fear urged me to turn back. I kept moving cautiously until I reached a clearing. There, amid the tall grass, I saw something unusual. A small wooden structure, almost hidden by the vegetation. Curious, I approached and noticed that it was an old abandoned cabin. I hesitated for a moment, wondering if I should go in. That place exuded a strange aura that made me deeply uneasy. But curiosity got the better of me, and with extreme caution, using only the light of the lantern, I crossed the threshold of the hut. The interior was dark and dusty, and the air was almost unbreathable. On the floor were trinkets that must have once been placed on the rickety, dust-laden furniture visible in the dim lantern light, a sign that someone had lived there. I looked around, searching for any clues that might explain the presence of that cabin in the middle of the forest. Suddenly, my gaze fell on an old wooden chest resting in a corner. Curiosity overcame me, and with trembling hands, I opened it. Inside were old portraits, yellowed with age. Illuminating them with the lantern, I picked some up and began to look at them. They depicted a family, a man, a woman, and 2 children. They seemed very old. A shiver ran down my spine. Those photos must have been very ancient. But what had happened to that family? Why was their house in the middle of the forest, in such a grim and frightening place? As I examined the pictures, I noticed that one of the portraits was different from the others. It seemed more recent and depicted only one of the 2 girls, standing in front of the cabin with a lost expression on her face. Suddenly, a noise from outside made me jump. Something was moving out there, among the trees. Instinctively, I hid behind the wooden chest and turned off the lantern. My heart pounded wildly as I listened intently to every slightest sound. After several interminable minutes, silence returned to reign supreme. Hesitantly, I relit the lantern and cautiously peered outside the cabin. Nothing. No sign of life, just the threatening darkness of the forest surrounding me. I decided to leave and continue on my way, but an unease gripped me. I felt I was not alone. I advanced cautiously along the path, the lantern's light barely managing to pierce the thick darkness of the Black Forest. A sense of unease gripped me. I sensed a sinister presence watching me. Suddenly, I noticed something strange among the trees. A faint flickering light, as if it came from a small flame. Intrigued, I moved in that direction, driven by a morbid desire to uncover what lay in those shadows. Proceeding cautiously, the light grew more intense until I reached a clearing. There, amid the tall grass, I saw a figure crouched before a small fire. I hid behind a bush, observing the scene. The figure was that of a little girl, no more than 10 years old, sitting silently before the flames. She seemed lost, her face covered by dark curls. Suddenly, the girl turned as if sensing my presence. Our eyes met, and a chill ran down my spine. Those large, lifeless eyes stared at me with a vacant, emotionless expression. At that moment, I realized that this girl was not normal at all. There was something unsettling about her, something supernatural. Without a word, the little girl stood up and began to move towards me. Terror paralyzed me, rendering me incapable of moving or making a sound. I watched her approach, her gaze fixed on me as if she wanted to peer into my soul. When she was just a few steps away, she stopped and, in a chilling whisper, uttered a single sentence. "Have you come to take me home?" A shiver ran down my spine, and without thinking further, I turned and began to run desperately along the path, fleeing from that terrifying creature. I ran like a madman, short of breath, my heart pounding in my ears. Behind me, I heard the rustling of broken branches, as if something were chasing me. Terror gave me wings, but I did not dare look back. Finally, I reached the edge of the forest. Without stopping, I kept running until I reached a wider road. Only then did I stop, panting, looking around to ensure I was safe. The black forest loomed dark and menacing behind me, as if it still hid many dark secrets. That spectral face of the girl haunted me, imprinted in my mind like an indelible image of horror. Shaken by chills, I quickly walked home, eager to put as much distance as possible between myself and that cursed place. As you can imagine, the sense of unease generated by that encounter has never gone away, and when I rarely recount this story, I still shudder.